Welcome to Lahari Lectures. In this video, you can watch one word question and answers computer science from question 901 to 950. Let's watch. First question, which DBMS advantage enables authorized users to access common data? Data sharing. A DBMS requires skilled database administrators and trained personnel. One major disadvantage of a DBMS is increased complexity. Compared a file system, a DBMS generally requires more storage space and resources. The cost of purchasing DBMS software and hardware is generally high. If the DBMS fails, it may affect all users and applications using the database. A centralized database failure may result in system-wide downtime. A DBMS may require additional training for users and administrators. Which disadvantage is associated with complex DBMS software? Difficult installation and management. Performance overhead in a DBMS occurs because it provides many management features such as security, concurrency, and recovery. Which type of organization may find a DBMS too expensive? Small organizations with simple data requirements. Next question, which is a risk if proper backup is not maintained? Permanent data loss after failure. A DBMS requires regular maintenance and updates. The complexity of a DBMS mainly affects installation, administration, and maintenance. The failure of a centralized DBMS can interrupt multiple users and applications. Performance overhead in a DBMS is mainly due to security, concurrency, control, and recovery mechanisms. A DBMS may not be suitable for organizations with very small and simple data requirements. Without proper backup, a DBMS crash may lead to permanent data loss. Compared to traditional file system, a DBMS generally requires more hardware and software resources. Which factor contributes most to the high cost of a DBMS? Licensing and maintenance cost. The complexity of a DBMS mainly arises because it supports security, recovery, concurrency, and transaction management, which requires skilled personnel in a DBMS environment. Database administration. The major disadvantage of a centralized DBMS is single point of failure. If the DBMS server crashes, the consequence is all connected users and applications may be affected. Performance overhead in a DBMS is mainly due to concurrency control, security, and recovery mechanism. A DBMS may be unsuitable for small applications with simple data requirements. The requirement for trained database administrators DBAs is considered a disadvantage of DBMS. A DBMS generally consumes more storage because it maintains metadata, indexes, logs, and backups. The additional processing performed by a DBMS for security and concurrency results in performance overhead. The ANSI Spark database architecture consists of three levels. The three levels of ANSI Spark architecture are external level, conceptual level, and internal level. The external level is also known as user view level. The conceptual level describes the complete logical structure of the entire database. The internal level is concerned with physical storage of data, which level hides the physical storage details from users. Conceptual level hides the physical storage details from users. The main objective of the ANSI Spark architecture is achieve data independence. A user's customized view of the database is defined at the external level. How many conceptual schemas exist in a database? 1. How many external schemas can exist in a database? Many. How many internal schemas exist in a database? 1. Which mapping exists between the external and conceptual levels? External conceptual mapping. Which mapping exists between the conceptual and internal levels? Conceptual internal mapping. Which level contains details about indexes, file organization, and storage structures? Internal level. The external level primarily provides data security and different user views, which level is independent of the physical storage method, both external and conceptual levels. Logical data independence is achieved by separating external and conceptual levels. Physical data independence is achieved by separating conceptual and internal levels. The primary advantage of the ANSI Spark architecture is data independence and multiple user views. The internal level includes details about file organization and indexes, which level is directly accessed by end users. External level is directly accessed by end users. Thanks for watching. Please like, share and subscribe my channel. Thank you.